Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Okay, so Otto Wallin, 6'5" southpaw fighter. Of course, he's a bit of a switch hitter in that himself. Very, very good boxer, as he showed when he fought Tyson Fury, where a lot of people do believe that had that fight been anywhere else and it wasn't Tyson Fury, the fight would have been stopped due to the cut that Tyson Fury sustained, and Otto Wallin would have got the victory. Is what it is. Glad it didn't happen. And of course, Tyson Fury then went on and absolutely pummeled Deontay Wilder. Now, Dillian Whyte, he's fresh on a victory on his revenge to Alexander Povetkin. Otto Wallin has recently fought Dominic Breazeale. So both currently don't have an opponent for the next fight. Now, Otto Wallin's promoter, Dimitri Salita, has said that a fight with Dillian Whyte is very interesting. Otto Wallin is staying active and moving towards heavyweight world title. If Dillian Whyte is in the way, we will definitely explore that possibility. So that is Dimitri Salita's quote on it. Now, I think that's an interesting one because already, I think a lot of people, when they look at Otto Wallin, were looking at the Tyson Fury performance saying, well, maybe that was Otto Wallin at the best of his game and Tyson Fury at the worst of his. Yes, of course, there was a cut, and in the final round, he did wobble Tyson. He did hurt him. But ultimately, a lot of people saying, well, maybe that was just a one-off. Maybe Otto Wallin ain't very good. But for those of you who watched the Dominic Breazeale fight recently, you can see that Otto Wallin deserves to be in the mix. He really does. For me, it's an interesting fight. And in fact, this will be the first time, I believe, that Dillian Whyte would have fought a southpaw if it actually happens. But as I said before, Otto Wallin, yes, he's naturally a southpaw, but he is a switch hitter as well. So Dillian, he's going to have to be training with southpaws and orthodox fighters, ideally switch hitters. But it's an interesting fight, that's for sure. And I do believe that when Dimitri Salita says that Otto Wallin is looking to fight for the world heavyweight title, albeit against Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury currently, and if Dillian Whyte is in the way, that would be an interesting exploration for them. Well, Dillian Whyte is in the way. He's a WBC interim world heavyweight champion. So if anything was to happen with Tyson Fury, vacate, strip, whatever it may be, Dillian Whyte becomes full champion automatically. So that's a position that if Otto Wallin is serious about getting in the mix with Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, that's the route to go down, is Dillian Whyte. It's an interesting fight, but Otto Wallin did say that his home now is in the United States of America. He only really wants to be fighting on PBC shows going forward. But of course, Dillian Whyte, he's a Sky Sports fighter. But is he willing to go to America? Of course he is. Dillian will fight anybody anyway. He'll come to my back garden and take on anybody. But business sense, Eddie Hearn isn't going to want that. Eddie Hearn is going to want it to be on DAZN. But ultimately, Dillian, he is a free agent. While he is, I don't know whether or not he's actually contracted to be fighting on Sky Sports as far as the UK is concerned. He might be, I don't know. But when it comes to abroad, he's not a DAZN fighter. Dillian gives the yes or no approval for whoever shows his fights abroad. He's done it quite a few times. Sometimes he said yes to DAZN, other times he said no. So if that's one of the deals, and if Dillian really wants that fight, maybe something could be worked out where in America it's going to be shown on Showtime or Fox, whatever it may be. But anyway, all these things that both their teams will work out as time goes on. But for me, I think that's an interesting fight. Really is an interesting one. And if this fight does happen, you know fine well there's going to be a lot of Dillian Whyte hate. Oh, why is he fighting Otto Wallin? Oh, he's fighting a bum, blah, blah, blah. But hey, if it's good enough for Tyson Fury, it should be good enough for Dillian Whyte, right? And anyway, I think a lot of people, because I don't really know how Dillian Whyte's going to fare against the southpaw. Ultimately, fighting's fighting, but on fight night, it's different. It really is different. But anyway, it'd be an interesting one, that is for sure. Would Dimitri Salita want to put in Otto Wallin in with Dillian Whyte? I imagine he would. Would Otto Wallin want to fight Dillian Whyte? I imagine he probably would, because he's on a bit of a roll. His profile is going through the roof, that's for sure. And if he wants to continue that and get a legitimate name on his resume, Dillian Whyte is the way forward. But of course, for me, I would favour Dillian Whyte quite heavily in that fight. I couldn't really see Otto Wallin getting past 5 rounds, if I'm being brutally honest. But you never know. It's boxing, and most importantly, heavyweight boxing. Anyway, that's the news. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.